Blog Talk Radio.
Well, let's see if we can do it. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you and yours, wherever you are on the World Wide Web. You are listening to Let's Talk, brought to you by the Men Empowered Organization on the Blog Talk Radio Network at blogtalkradio.com. My name is Brother Malachi. I will be with you for the next 52 minutes and 40 seconds. We are going to make an attempt to get back in the Book of Jasher. I know we've been trying to get into this for the past several weeks, if not months, but we are back. The chat room is closed at this time. Want to kind of check some things out on BTR, see if we got everything going okay. The chat room is closed, but we're going to open it up probably the halfway mark of our show. See if everything can work. But you can make a comment, or if you have a question, you can give us a call while we are here live at 347-205-9279. Okay, we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will get back in the Book of Jasher, chapter 26, for a comparative in the regular King James Version Bible. You can pick up the story in Genesis chapter 25, beginning at verse 20. We'll be right back. You're listening to Let's Talk.
Shalom, this is Malachi, founder of the Men Empowered Organization. We are bringing you a new weekly commentary right here to the Pine Belt's original urban radio pioneer. Looking forward to sharing with you absolute knowledge and truth. Stay tuned for the day and time exclusively on the original Urban FM.
And that can be heard on WJMG locally here in the Pine Belt area of Laurel and Hattiesburg, Mississippi, every Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the Pine Belt's original Urban FM. Okay, we are back, and we are getting into the Book of Jasher, chapter 26. And just want to remind you again, a comparative parallel to this is in Genesis chapter 25, starting with verse 20. It will not be word for word, but the meat of it will be in Genesis chapter 25, beginning with verse 20. So we are in the Book of Jasher, chapter 26, verse 1, getting started. For those of you all are joining us for the very first time, you're probably saying, the Book of Jasher, where is that at? Well, if you want to know where that is, Joshua mentions this in his book, the Book of Joshua. You know what Joshua is. Look at Joshua chapter 10, verse 13. All right, the Book of Jasher, chapter 26, verse 1. And in the 59th year of the life of the son of Abraham, Rebekah, his wife, was still barren in those days. Verse 2. And Rebekah said unto Isaac, truly I have heard, my lord, that my mother Sarah was barren in her days until my lord Abraham, thy father, prayed for her, and she conceived by him. Now, therefore, stand up, pray thou also to God, and he will hear the prayer and remember us through his mercies. And Isaac answered his wife, Rebekah, saying, Abraham has already prayed for me to God to multiply his seed. Now, therefore, this barrenness must proceed to us from thee. There's Isaac. As you can see, Isaac is speaking faith because he already know that the announcement was already made by the Most High to Abraham, and Abraham told Isaac that his seed will be multiplied. So he knew his seed would be multiplied through Isaac because Isaac was the chosen one. Now, Abraham did have other kids, some from Keturah as well as Ishmael, but the chosen one came through Isaac. Verse 5, and Rebekah said unto him, But arise now, thou also, and pray, that the Lord may hear thy prayer and grant me children. And Isaac hearkened to the words of his wife. And Isaac and his wife rose up and went to the land of Moriah to pray there and to seek the Lord. And when they had reached that place, Isaac stood up and prayed to the Lord on account of his wife, because she was barren. And Isaac said, O Lord God of heaven and earth, whose goodness and mercies fill the earth, thou who didst take my father from his father's house and from his birthplace, and didst bring him into the land, and didst say unto him, To thy seed will I give the land, and thou didst promise him, and didst declare unto him, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand of the sea. Now may thy words be verified, which thou didst speak unto my father. He's putting the Most High God in remembrance of his words, in remembrance of his promise that he told Abraham. Verse 7, For thou art the Most High God. Our eyes are toward thee to give us seed of men, as thou didst promise us. For thou art the Lord our God, and our eyes are directed toward thee only. Verse 8, And the Most High heard the prayer of Isaac, the son of Abraham, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. Verse 9, And in about 7 months after the children struggled together within her, and it pained her greatly that she was weary on account of them. And she said to all the women who were in the land, Did such a thing happen to you as it has to me? And they said unto her, No. Verse 10, And she said unto them, Why am I alone in this among all the women that were upon the earth? And she went to the land of Moriah to seek the Lord on account of this. And she went to Shem and Eber, his sons, to make inquiries of them in this matter, and that they should seek the Most High in this thing respecting her. Verse 11, And she also asked Abraham to seek and inquire of the Most High about all that had befallen her. Verse 12, And they all inquire of the Most High concerning this matter, and they brought her word from the Most High and told her, 2 children are in thy womb, and 2 nations shall rise from them, and 1 nation shall be stronger than the other, and the greater shall serve the younger. Verse 13, And when her days to be delivered were complete, she knelt down, and behold, there were twins in her womb, as the Most High had spoken to her. Verse 14, And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and all the people of the land called his name Esau, saying, This one was made complete from the womb. Verse 15, And after that came his brother, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. Therefore, they called his name Jacob, or in the text, Yaakov. Verse 16, and Isaac, the son of Abraham, was 60 years old when he begat them. Verse 17, and the boys grew up to their 15th year, and they came among the society of men. Esau was a designing and deceitful man, and an expert hunter in the field. And Jacob was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, feeding flocks, and learning the instructions of the Most High and the commands of his father and mother. Read that again, Brother Malachi. And the boys grew up to their 15th year, and they came among the society of men. Listen very careful. Esau was a designing and deceitful man. Deceitful man, it says. And an expert hunter in the field. And Jacob was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, feeding flocks. This is Jacob now. And Jacob was a man perfect and wise. Read that again, Brother Malachi. And Jacob was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, feeding flocks, and learning the instructions of the Most High and the commands of his father and mother. Now, who am I or we to question who gets chosen to carry on the seed that the Most High had promised Abraham all the way through? Yes, Esau was the firstborn to come out, but look at who the Most High chose. Verse 18, and Isaac and the children of his household dwelt with his father Abraham in the land of Canaan, as the Most High had commanded them. Verse 19, and Ishmael, the son of Abraham, went with his children and all belonging to them, and they returned there to the land of Havilah, and they dwelt there. Verse 20, and the children of Abraham's concubine went to dwell in the land of the east, for Abraham had sent them away from her, given them presents, and they went away. Verse 21, and Abraham gave all that he had to his son Isaac, and he also gave him all his treasures. Woo! Isaac gave him all his treasures. Verse 22, and he commanded him, saying, dost thou not know and understand the Most High God in heaven and in earth, and there is no other beside him? Verse 23, and it was he who took me from my father's house and from my birthplace, and gave me all the delights on earth, who delivered me from the counsel of the wicked, for in him did I trust. Verse 24, and he brought me to this place, and he delivered me from Ur-Kasdim, and he said unto me, to thy seed give all these lands, and they shall inherit them when they keep my commandments, my statutes, and my judgments that I have commanded thee. Here we go again. Brother Malachi, read that again. Okay, verse 24. Well, let's back up and let's go to verse 22. And he commanded him, saying, dost thou not know and understand the Most High God in heaven and in earth, and there's no other beside him? Verse 23, and it was he who took me from my father's house and from my birthplace and gave me all the delights upon earth, who delivered me from the counsel of the wicked, for in him did I trust. Verse 24, here it is. And he to this place, and he delivered me from the cast them, and he said unto me, to thy seed will give all these lands, and they shall inherit them when they keep my commandments, my statutes, and my judgments that I have commanded thee, and which I shall command them. Verse 25. Now therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, and keep the commandments of the Most High thy God, which I command thee. Do not turn from the right way, either to the right or to the left, in order that it may be well with thee and thy children after thee forever. Verse 26. And remember the wonderful works of the Most High and his kindness that he has shown toward us from the hands of our enemies. And the Most High our God caused them to fall into our hands. And now, therefore, keep all that I have commanded thee, and turn not away from the commandments of thy God, and serve none besides him, in order that it may be well with thee and thy seed after thee. Now, I want to break right here real quick because I want to make a statement. Christ did not come to destroy the law. He came to fulfill it. So in order for us to understand the Old Testament and New Testament, because they understood the law, because that's what they had to go by, so you just can't put away the law. You have to keep it. You have to understand it. How do we understand homosexuality was a sin? Because of the laws. How did you get the understanding that homosexual was a sin when you read it in the New Testament? Because of the law. How did you know about grace when Christ put away the penalty for the sins? Because of the law. Because of the law. In order for you to understand New Testament, you got to understand the Old Testament. You got to understand the law. So he did not put away it. He came to fulfill it. Okay, moving right along. Verse 20, let's go back to 26. And remember the wonderful works of the Most High and his kindness that he has shown toward us, in having delivered us from the hands of our enemies. And the Most High our God caused them to fall into our hands. And now, therefore, keep all that I have commanded thee, and turn not away from the commandments of thy God, and serve none besides him, in order that it may be well with thee and thy seed after thee. Verse 27. And teach thy children and see the instructions of God and his, and teach them the upright way in which they should go, in order that it may be well with them forever. How long is forever? Forever. Verse 28. And Isaac answered his father and said unto him, that which my God has commanded, that will I do, and I will not depart from the commands of the Most High my God. I will keep all that he commanded me. And Abraham blessed his son Isaac, and also his children. And Abraham taught Jacob. Look at that. And Abraham taught Jacob the instructions of the Most High and his ways. Boom. Where was Esau? Read that again, Brother Malik. And Isaac answered his. You want to know why Isaac was chosen? This is the reason why. I'm reading it thoroughly, reading it through and through and through. This is one of the reasons why they did not want you to read the book of Jasher, because it states plain and clear that the blessings was bestowed upon Jacob through Isaac because of the instructions. And Isaac answered his father and said unto him, that which my Lord has commanded, that will I do. I will not depart of the Lord my God. Commandments, I will keep all he commanded me. And Abraham blessed his son Isaac and also his children. And Abraham taught Jacob the instructions of the Lord and his ways. Verse 29, and it was at the time that Abraham died in the 15th year of the life of Jacob and Esau, that 15th year. Did you notice in that 15th year, what did Jacob do? Remember we read that? What did Esau do? What did it say Esau do? You remember that? Come on, you remember. All right. And Jacob and Esau, the sons of Isaac, and all the days of Abraham were 175 years. And he died and was gathered to his people in a good old age, and satisfied with days. And Isaac and Ishmael, his sons, buried him. Isaac and Ishmael. Even though Isaac was chosen, Ishmael was there to grieve and to pay honor and respect for his father. All right? Now, verse 30. And when the inhabitants of Canaan heard that Abraham was dead, they all came with their kings and princes and all their men to bury Abraham. Now, that was a big send-off. That was a big homegoing right there. Verse 31. And all the inhabitants of the land of Gerar and all the families of the house of Abraham and all the princes and grandees and the sons of Abraham by the concubines all came when they heard of Abraham's death. And they requited Abraham's kindness and comforted Isaac his son. And they buried Abraham in the cave which he bought from Eporam the Hittite and his children for the possession of a burial place. And all the inhabitants of Canaan and all those who had known Abraham wept for Abraham a whole year, and men and women mourned over him. Let's stop right there and let's go ahead and take our midway break, and we will pick this back up at verse 33 in about maybe a little over 3 minutes. We're going to take a quick music break, and we'll be right back with the Book of Jasher, chapter 26. Right here, you're listening to Let's Talk, brought to you by the Men in Power Radio Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network at blogtalkradio.com. You're listening to Let's Talk, brought to you by the Men in Power Radio Show right here on Blog Talk Radio. Just want to let you all know if you're joining us right here for the very first time, and if you just stepped right in, we have now opened the chat room. That's right, the chat room is now open for your convenience right here. We are here if you want to just go ahead and chat with us right there. It will be open as long as we are here on the air live. If you have any questions, you can always hit us up at 347-205-9279 is the number. Just want to remind you also, when we are off the air, our office number here in the Laurel and Hattiesburg, Mississippi area, you can contact us at 601-297-2927, or you can hit us up. Our office here in the New Orleans area code 504-484-9388 is our numbers. And you can always hit us up on the web at Men Empowered to Prosper at yahoo.com. That's Men Empowered to Prosper at yahoo.com. My name is Brother Malachi, yours truly, the host and founder of the Men Empowered organization. We are in the Book of Jasher. The Book of Jasher, which is mentioned in Joshua chapter 10, verse 13. We are just about getting ready to finish up chapter 26 and moving on to 27 while we still have just a few minutes left. So we're going to pick up right now verse 33. I don't think I have to repeat myself after listening to why Jacob was chosen and not Esau. This is it. You know, Hebrew customs, the first one that is born is usually the one that was always going to get the blessings from the father. But in this case, the Most High chose differently. Just like all those sons that what was his name? Who was the father of Joseph? Yeah. You know, he wanted to find out who was the next person to pick by Samuel, and Samuel picked. Oh, this is the one. Looking at Joseph, you know, from all of this. Okay, let me not sidetrack. Let me go ahead on and get into the Book of Jasher. And I apologize for being late on this. I know we were usually we're scheduled to go in at 7 o'clock. Then sometimes I change it to 9 if we are running a little late or having some difficulties getting on the air. But I did not want to fail the Most High and not put this message out today. You know, today was a long day, but I said I'm going to do it anyway because I love the Most High, as well as doing my best to keep all his commandments and his statutes. Okay? Because not only is this hitting home with you all when I read that and when it talks about the commandments, but it hits home with me as well. I've got to do everything that he says he's got to do. Not just trying to tell you all what to do, but it also goes for me as well. So, verse 33, and all the little children and all the inhabitants of the land wept on account of Abraham, for Abraham had been good to them all. Yes, he had. And because he had been upright with the Most High and men. Verse 34, there arose not a man who feared the Most High like unto Abraham, for he had feared his God from his youth, and had served the Most High, and had gone in all his ways, doing his life, from his childhood to the day of his passing, or I should say his death. All right? And the Most High was with him and delivered him from the counsel of Nimrod. You all remember that Nimrod put Abraham in the fiery furnace. So, you know, we found out that not only were the three Hebrew boys were thrown in the fiery furnace, but Abraham was thrown in there as well. Matter of fact, his brother was thrown in with him, but his brother was not upright, and therefore the Most High didn't save him. But Abraham was not touched by the fire. He walked in that fire for 3 days untouched. Okay, let's see here. Nimrod and his people, and when he made war with the 4 kings of Elam, he conquered them. Verse 36, and he brought all the children of the earth of the earth to the service of the Most High. And he taught them the ways of the Most High and caused them to know the Most High. Verse 37. And he formed a grove and he planted a vineyard therein. And he had always prepared in his tent meat and drink to those that passed through the land, that they might satisfy themselves in his house. As you can see, Abraham was a big greeter of people. Verse 38, and the Most High God delivered the whole earth on account of Abraham. Verse 39, and it was after the death of Abraham that the Most High blessed his son Isaac and his children. And the Most High was with Isaac, and he had been with his father, as he had been with his father Abraham. And Isaac kept all the commandments of the Most High, as Abraham his father had commanded him. And he did not turn to the right nor or to the left from the right path which his father had commanded him. We are now in chapter 27. Chapter 27 of the Book of Jasher. And Esau, at time after the death of Abraham, frequently went in the field to hunt. Verse, king of Babel, the same was Raphael, also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field, and to walk about and with his men in the cool of the day. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days. Now check this out. Two of the most evil men in the earth. Verse 3 again. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days. Because they said Esau, remember now, Nimrod was a mighty hunter as well. All right, verse 4. And on a certain day Esau went into the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his two men. Verse 5. And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness, but they removed at a distance from him, and they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself for Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness. Verse 6. And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him, and Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field. 7. And Nimrod and two of his men that were with him came to the place where they were. When Esau started suddenly from his lurking place, he drew his sword and hastened and ran to Nimrod and cut off his head. And Esau, verse 8, and Esau fought a desperate fight with the two men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword. Verse 9. And all the mighty men of Nimrod who had left him to go to the wilderness heard the cry at a distance, and they knew the voice of those two men, and they ran to know the cause of it. When they found their king and the two men that were with him laying dead in the wilderness. Verse 10. And when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garment of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land, and he ran and concealed them in his house. Verse 11, and Esau took the garments and ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men. And he came unto his father's house, weary and exhausted from fight. And he was ready to die through grief when he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him. Verse 12, and he said unto his brother Jacob, behold, I shall die this day, and wherefore then do I want the birthright? Okay, all right. Let's back up again. Let's read verse 12. I'm finding something out now. I think you are too when you hear this. And he said unto his brother Jacob, behold, I shall die this day, and wherefore then do I want the birthright? And Jacob acted wisely with Esau in this matter, and Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, for it was so brought about by the Most High. Okay, I'm putting the puzzle together. And Esau's portion in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham had brought from the children of Heth for the possessions of a burial ground, Esau also sold to Jacob, and Jacob bought all this from his brother Esau for a value given. Verse 14, and Jacob wrote the whole of this in a book, and he testified the same with witnesses, and he sealed it, and the book remained in the hands of Jacob. Verse 15, and when Nimrod, the son of Cush, died, his men lifted him up and brought him to consternation and buried him in his city. And all the days that Nimrod lived were 215 years, and he died. Verse 16, and the days that Nimrod reigned upon the people of the land were 185 years, and Nimrod died by the sword of Esau in shame and contempt. And the seed of Abraham caused, yes it did, and the seed of Abraham caused his death as he had seen in his dream. Wow. Did you not know that? Verse 17, and at the death of Nimrod, his kingdom became divided into many divisions, and all those parts that Nimrod reigned over were restored to the respective kings of the land, who recovered them after the death of Nimrod. And all the people of the house of Nimrod were for a long time enslaved to all the kings of the land. Did you know that? Now we are in the book of Jasher, chapter 28. The book of Jasher, chapter 28. And with just a few minutes left, let's see what are we going to do. We are going to go ahead and finish up 28, and we'll pick it up next Sunday, and we're going to get that chapter 29. But we're going to go ahead and finish up chapter 28. Verse 1 of chapter 28, the book of Jasher. And in those days after the death of Abraham, in that year, the Most High brought a heavy famine in the land. And whilst the famine was reigning in the land of Canaan, Isaac rose up to go down to Egypt on account of the famine, as his father Abraham had done. Verse 2, and the Most High appeared that night to Isaac And he said to him, do not go down to Egypt, but rise and go to Gerar, to Amalek, king of the Philistines, and remain there till the famine shall cease. Verse 3, and Isaac rose up and went to Gerar, as the Lord commanded him, and he remained there for a full year. And verse 4, and when Isaac came to Gerar, the people of the land saw that Rebekah his wife was of a beautiful appearance. And the people of Gerar asked Isaac concerning his wife, and he said, she is my sister, just like your dad, your granddaddy did. All right. For he was afraid to say she was his wife, lest the people of the land should slay him on account of her. Verse 5, and the princes of Amalek went and praised the woman to the king, but he answered them not, neither did he attend to their words. Verse 6, but he heard them say that Isaac declared her to be his sister, so the kings reserved this within himself. Verse 7, and when Isaac had remained 3 months in the land, Amalek looked out at the window, and he saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. For Isaac dwelt in the outer house belonging to the king, so that the house of Isaac was opposite the house of the king. Verse 8, and the king said unto Isaac, what is this thou hast done to us in saying of thy wife, she is my sister? How easily might one of the great men of the people have lain with her, and thou would then have brought guilt upon us. Verse 9, and Isaac said unto Amalek, because I was afraid lest I die on account of my wife, therefore I said, she is my sister. Verse 10, at that time Amalek gave orders to all the princes and great men, and they took Isaac and Rebekah his wife and brought them before the king. And the king, verse 11, commanded that they should dress them in princely garments and make them ride through the streets of the city and proclaim before them throughout the land, saying, this is the man and this is his wife. Whoever toucheth this man or his wife shall surely die. And Isaac returned with his wife to the king's house, and the Lord was with Isaac, and he continued to wax great and lacking nothing. And the Most High caused Isaac to find favor in the sight of Abimelech and in the sight of all his subjects. And Abimelech acted well with Isaac. And Abimelech remembered the oath and the covenant that existed between his father and Abraham. Remember this? Remember this? Y'all remember this? It says, I will bless those that bless you, and I will curse those that curse you. This is the seed of Abraham. This is why Isaac is getting blessed. All right? Verse 13, and Abimelech said unto Isaac, behold, the whole earth is before thee. Dwell wherever it may seem good in thy sight until thou shalt return to thy land. And Abimelech gave Isaac fields of vineyards and the best part of the land of Gerar to sow and reap and eat the fruits of the ground until the days of the famine should have passed by. Verse 14, and Isaac sowed in the land and received 100-fold in the same year, and the Most High blessed him. And the man waxed great, and he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and great store of servants. Verse 16, and when the days of the famine had passed away, the Most High appeared to Isaac and said unto him, rise up, go forth from the place and return to the land of Canaan, And Isaac rose up and returned to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan, he and all belonging to him, as the Most High commanded him. Verse 17, and after this, Shelach, the son of Aphrodite, died in that year, which is the 18th year of the lives of Jacob and Esau. And all the days that Shelach lived were 433 years, and he died. Verse 18, at that time Isaac sent his young son Jacob to the house of Shem and Eber, and he learned the instructions of the Most High. And Jacob remained in the house of Shem and Eber for 22 years. And Esau his brother did not go, for he was not willing to go, and he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan. This right here lets you know why the Most High chose Jacob over Esau. This is cut and dry right here. This is cut and dry. You can just go ahead and just say that verse 18 is the reason why Jacob was chosen and not Esau. And Esau was continually hunting in the field to bring home what he could get. So did Esau all the days. Verse 20, and Esau was a designing and deceitful man, one who hunted after the hearts of men and invade them. And Esau was a valiant man in the field, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt. And he came as far as the field of Shinar. The same is Edom. Verse 21, and he remained in the land of Shinar, hunting in the field a year and 4 months. That's a long hunting trip. Verse 22, and Esau there saw in the land of Shinar the daughter of a man of Canaan, and her name was JEWEDuP, the daughter of Beer, son of Ephraim, from the families of Het, the son of Canaan. Verse 23, and Esau took her for a wife, and he came unto her 40 years old. And Esau, when he took her, he brought her to Hebron, the land of his father, dwelling place, and he dwelt there. And it came to pass in those days, in the 110th year of the life of Isaac, that is, in the 15th year of the life of Jacob, in that year died Shem, the son of Noah. Shem was 600 years old at his death. And when Shem died, Jacob returned to his father to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan. Verse 26, and in the 56th year of the life of Jacob, people came from Haran, and Rebekah was told concerning her brother Laban, the son of Bethuel. Verse 27, and the wife of Laban was barren in those days, and bare no children, and also all his handmaids bare none to him. 28, and the Most High afterward remembered Anah, the wife of Laban, and she conceived and bare twin daughters. And Laban called the names of his daughters, the name of the elder Leah, and the name of the younger Rachel. Now you know who Rachel is. You know who Leah is. All right. These are two of the mothers of the 12 tribes of Israel. We're going into overtime, just a few seconds for those of you all who are still with us on the phone. We'll be here for about maybe 20 seconds. I want to give you some announcements before we go, but we're just about getting ready to finish this up. it has been a great pleasure with this particular book, because this is the setup right here that shows you how the 12 tribes started and how Jacob came into the blessing because of what he did, obeyed the Most High. All right, verse 29. And those people came and told these things to Rebekah, and Rebekah rejoiced greatly that the Most High had visited her brother and that he had gotten children. Yeah, Rebekah was ready for a man, for a husband. All right. We're going to pick up at chapter 29, starting at verse 1 next week, because I am out of time, as Dr. Fred K.C. Price would say. Okay, this is going to do it for this episode of the Book of Jasher, chapter 26, all the way to 28. It has been an eye-opening experience. I hope you will review this along with your Book of Jasher, so you know now how the Most High and why the Most High chose Jacob and not Esau. I got a lot more to say, but I'm going to save it till next time. So this is Brother Malachi letting you know until next time, we will be right back next Sunday, hopefully a little earlier than what we have been doing today, or tonight, but we will be back with the Book of Jasher, chapter 29. Until next time, this is Brother Malachi with the Men Empowered Organization. Shalom.
Read it. Verse 12. Amos chapter 8, verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea.
And they shall wander from sea to sea. That means you're going from this place to this place. Well, let me go over here. Islam, I don't like that. Well, let me go over to the Christian church. I don't know. Well, maybe let me go into Hinduism. Well, I don't know. I don't like this church because this preacher said this. I don't like this church because this preacher said that. Let me tell you, if you were in the Word, it wouldn't matter what the preacher would say. If you was in the Word, you'll be able to see over what he's teaching. But you're going from sea to sea, all over the place. Read.
Amos chapter 8, verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east.
Go ahead.
They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Most High, and shall not find it.
You're going to wish one day you was able to sit in your cushy house and cut on your computer and see the word of the Most High. You're going to long for that time. You're going to wish you had that opportunity. Soon reading the Bible is going to be against the law of the earth. Soon. They're moving everyone into a new age movement. And the only thing you can believe in is yourself. And you are being programmed. That's going to be the belief system. Yourself. That's the new age movement. How grim and dark the government of this earth is. That all of them are in league and are in bed with Satan. That's the truth. Not one of them are with the Most High. Why? Because this kingdom was given into the hand of Satan. Job 9 and 24 tells you the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. So in order for you to rule in this government, you must go to Satan to get your power. He tried to offer it to Christ. Christ denied it. But who took it? All the governments in this earth who will soon pay. They live lavishly in this earth off the bones, blood, sweat, and tears of the children of Israel. Yes, but now they have to pay. It's time. All these wars in the earth are culminating. They're leading to their own demise. And we're just a people with no weapon. This is our weapon. The only thing we have is this, Christ, in the name of the Most High. And we'll